All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get started today. Let me go ahead and fix this camera and stuff, Hold on for one moment. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, nope, that's not it. Where's my other one at here? I think this is it right here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me one moment here. Oh boy. Can't seem to find my other. Huh. Well, I had a new lower third here. Can't seem to find it. But, however, there it is. Put it on the wrong scene though. But hold on for a minute, guys. Yeah, let me fix this here. Come on now. All right, let's see here. There we go. That's a lot better. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. It's always technology. You know what I'm saying? So, once again, I appreciate everybody. Today is New Year's Eve. Oh my goodness. Yeah, today is New Year's Eve. About to be a new year coming in. I thought it was already past. Yeah, but yeah, other than that though, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, we're gonna go ahead on and get it started and things. So let me see here. Yeah, let me do something here. Hold on for a minute. Got too much light coming in. Too much light. Too much light. That's a lot better. Too much light, ladies and gentlemen. Too much light. There we go. That's better. All right. So we're about to go into the show. Let's just go ahead on and adjust that there. All right. Okay, so let's gotta see what's going on in the news first and foremost. I'd like to give a shout out to my subscribers and followers. I appreciate you all for being a part of something great, which is Some Random Guy Speaks. Once again, I'm your host, Tony G, and we're about to get started in things. So let me see here. Here's the breaking news. Let's go ahead and pull this up. Ground news, ladies and gentlemen. I am not sponsored. However, this is one of the news sources that I use. All right, so we're going to get into it. So, Trump administration says it's freezing child care funds to Minnesota after series of fraud schemes. Isn't that something? Child care payments to Minnesota have been frozen by Trump administration, according to the HHS Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill. 3 actions have been taken against the fraud in Minnesota and across the country. Let's see here. Investigations estimate that the cost of fraud to the taxpayers could be between 250 million and 1 billion, man. That's a lot. Wow, that's amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see here. A federal prosecutor claimed that over half of the 18 billion in federal funds to Minnesota programs may have been stolen since 2018. So this is big, ladies and gentlemen. They're not letting up on this story. I believe that we are going to see a lot of things this is just a precursor, because the corruption, I heard that, was it 77 of them that got prosecuted behind this? And there was a particular judge in Minnesota that acquitted the whole thing. And make a long story short, this is where the corruption is. There is so much corruption, not just Minnesota, but wherever the blue states are. This is their criminal organization being unraveled for the whole world to see. I mean, the people of the United States, you cannot look to a blind eye on this, right? This is an operation. And they said that they've been doing this since 2018. I think they've been doing it even further. And this is one of their money making fraudulent schemes, ripping off the taxpayers, right? We're being ripped off over this stuff. And Tampon Tim Waltz, you know he's involved with this type of thing. It's already starting to unravel anyway. How do you not know? This is an operation, ladies and gentlemen. You gonna make me think that Tampon Tim didn't know $18 billion, right? And the federal funds, right? Oh man, the federal prosecutor claimed that over half of the 18 billion in federal funds for Minnesota programs have been stolen since 2018. So where did the money go? And we know that it was divvied up, and the other part went back to Somalia, El Shabaab, you know. Boy, I tell you, man, this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty big. I just wanted to touch on this. And we got a lot to cover today. We're going to be talking about this America First, which I've been meaning to want to get on this. I've been doing my little research, checking it out. You know, I ain't going to say a little research, but I have been doing some research on it, which I am pretty much familiar with the old America First thing. But let's go ahead and go a little bit further in this thing, though, too, you know. So, is there anything else? There's always something else going on in the news. Before I even touch on that, hold on for a minute. How do I sound? Do I sound like $1,000,000? Yeah, I had to do some tweaking behind the camera screen here, you know. So behind the stage, technology, you know. So I've been tweaking it with my voice. So right now I have that radio announcer voice. So I have it set up right now. All right, so let's take a look at it. All right, Trump administration audits Somali American citizenship cases in enforcement push. Donald Trump administration is auditing citizens cases involving U.S. citizens of Somalia. Origin to detect fraud that could lead to denaturalization. This is pretty big, ladies and gentlemen. Since taking office in January, Trump has pursued a hardline immigration policy. This is exactly what it is. Hardline immigration policy. Policies involving aggressive deportations, visa, green cards, right? What's that? Also screening, immigrations, also social media, right? So these are the things, you know. So let me see here. What else? Human rights groups condemn Trump policies, of course, as curbing right like due process and free speech, with Trump and allies say the policies aim to improve domestic security. Now, we already know that, in my opinion, you know, I smell George Soros behind this situation because he funds a lot of this stuff. It's once again, it's designed to cause division, right? These things are being funded. This is a criminal operation. He hated America from the start. You know what I'm saying? It's going to keep it real. All right. So I think that's mainly it in regards to that and things. So hold on for one moment, guys. Let me see here. Yeah, let me do this. Is that other camera on? Let's take a look. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that other camera and stuff like that. Give me one moment here. I want you guys to see my setup. Hold on for a minute. All right. Let's see here. See my setup. All right. Yep. My setup. All right. Hold on for a minute. Yeah, I want you guys to see my setup. Hold on for a minute. So that is camera 3. Come on now. Ah, it's not playing. Yep, it's still not playing though, huh? Yep, it's not doing the thing. Oh well. All right. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and continue on. I thought it was going to play, but apparently not. And things. So yeah, that's the thing. It's a little buggy, man. I'll fix that and figure that out later. Let's see here. Yeah, eye camera. Yeah, it's not doing nothing. It's just frozen. Yeah, it's not doing a thing. Not doing a thing. Remove from switcher. Let's do that. Go ahead and put that back in here again. All right. Let's see here. Remove from switcher. iPhone camera. Trying to connect. Okay. All right. Come on now. Wow. Huh. Still not connected. I don't get it. Yeah, that's a thing that's really buggy, man. Oh well. Let me come on out of there. I'll have to fix that some other time though. So, this stuff is not 100% right, you know what I'm saying? But okay. All right. All right. So, let's go ahead and go into it, ladies and gentlemen. So, talked about a few things with Trump that's going on and things. So we're gonna go ahead and get down to the nitty gritty though. Hope everybody's having a great time and things. But all right, but let's take a look at it here. So America first, what does it mean in 2025? Okay. All right. Hey everyone, once again, back to Some Random Guy Speaks. I'm your host, Tony G. Yep. So therefore, let's go ahead and get into it. All right. So I rambled enough about stuff that's going on in my mind. If you're a new here, hit the subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. Hit the subscribe button. Leave me a review. That is cool. If you guys can do that, whatever on the platform that you're on. All right. Shout out to people on Rumble as well, and Twitch, Kick, as well as YouTube. We'll keep it real, right? So from the corporate overloads, right? Just straight talk. Today's topic, America's first, you've heard it everywhere else, right? It's been a slogan bouncing around American politics for over a century now, with it being, let's say, back in December 31st, 2025. Yeah, the New Year's Eve, as well as to wrap up another wild year. I figure it's a good time to unpack what America First actually means today. It is a isolationism or nationalism, right? Something more extreme or just common sense patriotism. Let's dive in. First of all, a quick history lesson because context matters, right? The phase America First go way back. It popped up in the 1800s with an activist group got big in World War One when Woodrow Wilson used it for neutrality, right? But it's really exploded in the 1940s with the American First Committee, a massive group over 800,000 members pushing hard to keep the U.S. out of World War II. They were the isolationists, build up our defense, stay out of the European wars, aid short of war. Famous faces like Charles Lindbergh, nobody never found that Lindbergh baby, were involved. And yeah, it got tainted with some anti-Semitic rhetoric from certain groups, which is why the slogan has began, the slogan has a baggage of a lot of people. So it's amazing how history repeats itself. Just when you're thinking that the American first was something that was coined the phrase recently by Trump, but even Trump and his people obviously know history, right? because right now we have a lot of Jewish sentiment. You know, we also have the war situation, because you're hearing it right now, talking about the war in Iran. They talking about they're trying to drum that up, which is no war in Iran, but I mean, yeah, Iran and things like that. They're also talking about what's the other thing? Venezuela. That's the biggest one they're talking about. So it's amazing that this is being stoked again, right? Like I said before. Now let's fast forward to Trump, right? And let's say this. So it's a big time in 2016 campaign and made it the core of his foreign policies. America First under Trump meant putting U.S. Interests ahead of endless wars, right? Unfair trade deals and international organizations that he saw as a ripping us off, right? Think withdrawing from the Paris Climate Accord. Man, I said that many times. You know, we talk about NAFTA, USMCA, tough on China tariffs, and the brokening of the Abraham Accords in the Middle East, peace deals without new wars in his second term, right? Starting this year, it's similar: secure borders, right? Energy independence, no nation building abroad, right? These are the things that he ran on his campaign promise. But here's where it gets complicated, right? There's another of America First out there. You know what I'm saying? The one tied to Nick Fuentes and his followers, the so-called I would say glory purse. Fuentes runs a live stream called America First, and his group uses the slogan too. They're far right, pushing Christian nationalism, anti-immigration, hardline, right? And they've been labeled as white nationalists by groups like ADL. Fuentes has said controversial stuff, anti-Semitic tropes, Holocaust denial vibes, right? And his crowd disrupts mainstream conservative events to put them further right. They claim to be the real American First, criticizing Trump for being too pro Israel and not an extreme enough, right? So here it is right here. Not just Candace. Remember, I said this before. You also have Nick Fuentes. Once again, he's a nobody, right? He just got into this stuff, you know, with the help of Kanye West. Kanye West, by him knowing Trump, and I believe that there's something in the milk that's not white, right? So, or I should say chocolate, right? So here it is. He ended up meeting with Trump in Mar-a-Lago, brought Nick Fuentes over there. I think Trump kicked Nick Fuentes out. I'm not for sure. Something went down, but we pretty much know that Trump and Nick Fuentes, I mean, he don't even know the guy. He even said before, it's the guy that Kanye brought over to him. We don't really know this guy, right? At all. Now, the thing about it is that with this the rhetoric that he's pushing, and I do believe that he's also controlled opposition. This is my personal opinion. Now, I always say my opinion, right? So this is my personal opinion about him as well, because I said I wanted to go into a little bit more detail, because we know that, okay, we know where Candace Owens stands, and you're about to learn where Nick Fuentes stands. For some of you guys that may know him, some of you guys are familiar with him. I'm familiar with him, but I don't follow him because of some of these things. So some of these things I do agree with. First, America First. I do believe that we should have some type of pride, nationalism in America. It ain't just exclusive to whites, but in general, though, it is a Judeo-Christian society. You see what I'm saying? So these things are actual factually true. But where I'm gonna go in a little further, where we kind of draw, part our ways, because he has a nice little following as well. And this is when I got friends that believe in this, a lot of this rhetoric that we're hearing right now. Once again, no journalism, no accountability, no responsibility, just coming up with their narratives and pushing it as if it is the Bible truth. You know what I'm saying? I believe Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens show, we already know how that went, right? So they're both, in a sense, on the same page. I believe that they're both are plants. That's my opinion, once again, because they have moved people away from their base. It takes time. Do you guys really realize what Trump and the MAGA Republicans are up against? What the people on these controlled opposition groups, they don't, the thing about it with you guys that are following them, you do realize how deep the deep state really is. It's huge and it's global. It's a global thing, right? This is what Trump is fighting against. He's fighting the globalists, right? It's stuff that these guys don't talk about. They talk about Israel, 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 right? They talk about stuff like this. Venezuela, Venezuela. It's designed to get you to say, without doing enough research and critical thinking for yourself, they're telling you, hey, Trump is not doing this. Trump is not doing that. He's too soft on Israel. He's too soft on Israel. And I don't even just understand how some of these Jewish people that hate Trump, because we have already seen a lot of things that Trump has been doing regards to Israel for people that are Israelis, into my Jewish folk, and so forth. You know, I don't get that. That's another whole story. I just don't understand it. But this ain't the sentiment of all the Jewish people. There's Jewish people that rock with Trump and they see what he's doing, right? So let's go ahead and go further in on this type of stuff. So which is it? Trump's version of mainstream GOP now? Think America First Policy Institute, right? A think tank full of former Trump officials pushing policies like strong military, fair trade, secure borders. It's nationalized, right? But engaged globally on terms. The Fuentes side, right, is fringe, online, heavy, appealing to younger, edgy conservatives, but reject most Republicans. This is where he's getting the younger people, the younger generations, especially your Xennials, you know what I'm saying, that they don't have all the information. They only see in for what they see, right? They know that there's no money with them, the economy and so forth, the taxes, the whole thing. It ain't just you young people. A lot of our wealth has been stolen by the deep state. Let's go ahead and keep it real. If it wasn't for Doge, none of you wouldn't even known that. It's funny that these groups don't even talk about that, because paying taxes is totally unlawful in this country. Look it up. The Constitution, when we had a republic, the Republic Constitution, right? Before the 16th Amendment and everything like that, right? With the we know it's been ratified to protect who? The Federal Reserve. I've talked about this a lot, right? The main reason that we don't have wealth in this country because of the Federal Reserve, 1913. Go look it up, right? This is the main thing. The president that pushed that through was President Woodrow Wilson, right? So you don't have to take my word for it. This is documented, right? And all these other sets and groups, because we already know that this is in my opinion, this narcissist type of behavior, because real narcissists don't like playing with other people. They like to be the king of the hill on their own. Both of them got their own shows and they got followers, clouts, clicks, and views. I call them out on that. I stand on that, right? That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Because what are they saying ish? They're not saying much different. What can Candace, what can Nick Fuentes do, right? When you got a man in the White House that can push policy, right? What the hell can they do, right? How are we benefiting following these particular people? They are dividing MAGA, trying to, but I know they're not going to be successful, right? Because when the new year rolls in, big, beautiful bill, there's a lot of things that's already on the plate. Oh, yeah, Epstein. They use these things because there's no arrests. I said before, how in the hell can we arrest people, Well, we don't even have effing control of the damn with the judges, that the lower level judges. You see what happened with Comey and them and Letitia James? Are you kidding me? So there's other strategies that have to be implemented with these low level thug criminals first, right? You're gonna sit up in here and say, oh, yeah, I think he's bought. Oh, you know what I'm saying? This old nonsense, BS, bullshit is really what it is. All this speculation stuff. And I said I wanted to talk about this. Before I go in further, let's go ahead and do this, right? As some random guy, right? I think the core idea for America First makes sense if it's about prioritizing American workers, right? Security and prosperity. Why send billions overseas if our infrastructures are crumbling or borders are, you know what I'm saying, falling down, dilapidated, right? But it shouldn't mean turning inward completely, right? We're a superpower, right? Trade and alliances matter, right? That's what Trump has gotten going on right now. And definitely not the hateful stuff that poisons the well, right? What do you guys think? Is America First a good principle, right? Or does it have a history that makes it toxic? Drops your thoughts and comments. I need to know, right? This is exactly what it is. I need to know. Drop your comments and stuff, right? So let's go ahead and go a little bit further, right? The core principles in the 2025 politics based on Trump's administration action, right? And the 2025 national security strategy, America First boils down to 7 key pillars. Number 1, economic nationalism and trade. Number 2, border security and immigration. Number 3, foreign policies and military. Number 4, domestic priorities over global aid, right? Number 5, border values, right? That's another thing. So these are the things that Trump and the administration have always ran on in his second campaign, right? Let's go. Let's say, for instance, with the foreign policies in the military, where he said the endless wars and the proxy conflicts, while demanding allies, right? NATO pays more. We had to pay more for defense, right? Up to 5% of the GOP, right? In 2030 is what is predicted here. It's not an isolationist. Instead, it involves aggressive use of U.S. power for direct benefits, like broken peace deals or encountering threats from China, Russia, right, and a nation building. These are things right here, ladies and gentlemen. Have y'all always noticed that Russia have always been the big bad boogeyman, right? Because this is how our government, military, industrial complex, this is how they get the money, they get the funding. So even with false flag operations, this is how they generate wealth and money. This is exactly what it is, right? It's been a rules. We've been played, we've been lied to all this time, man. They've been faking and funk, bullshitting us, even with our politicians. They want to keep Russia. This is why Russia had never been part of the European Union, man, stuff, because they've been played purposely, right, as the big bad boogeyman. You know, and I know Russia, we ain't never, these are allies with us back in World War II. In fact, if it wasn't for Russia, the Europeans wouldn't have been liberated over there. You see what I'm saying? So let's not forget history, right? This is exactly what it is. So this is a prime example of what is going on, right? The stuff that I'm saying is already documented. This is not my opinion, right? This is exactly what it is. I don't care about the small stuff, the BS stuff, because what did they want you to keep concentrating on Israel, Palestine, or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? They're doing this stuff on purpose to derail you and to get you to pull away from your base. A lot of you guys have failed for the banana in the tailpipe because you're following people that don't have control of policy change. Candace Owens is not a politician. Neither is Nick Fuentes. They're not even a journalist. These are people in the basement that just got popular because of connections. And the verdict is still out on that of how he met Kanye West. And I'm going to do some investigating on that because we have to get down to the bottom of it. How can some old random guy meet Kanye West? And how him and Kanye brought him to Trump. We have to look into this type of stuff. Kanye too, right? I would never vote for a celebrity ever when it comes down to politics at all. We don't need celebrities. We need people. And right now, Trump is a businessman, and he's a builder, and he's tough, and he's fair. You have to accept it or reject it. Simple as that. I don't care if you accept it or reject it. It don't make me none. What you eat don't make me shit. Straight up. It is what it is. So let's go ahead on and go in further, right? So with the border values, right, promoting Judeo-Christian values, freedom, and leadership in the free world. This is exactly what he was doing. Contrasting with rivals like China supporters, seeking optimistic renewal. Look at Trump. Trump got China ass together. This is the only president I know that was able to back China up. You know what I'm saying? It was Trump. Ain't none of these people y'all following is doing that. Y'all following a leaderless, so-called phony-ass leaders. And I'm calling y'all out on y'all bullshit. You know, I really am. You talk about nonsense issues that doesn't even matter. It doesn't even affect you what goes on over there in the Middle East. You should be more concentrated on looking at his policies and backing him up, right? You live in America. You don't live in Israel. You don't live over none of those places. You're following liberal agendas without, like I always said, and I love reading it. In fact, I'm going to have to memorize this thing because once again, and I'm going to call you so-called Republicans out. You know what I'm saying? I'm calling y'all asses out too. These so-called, y'all ain't MAGA for real though, that's for sure. What is a liberal? Let's go ahead and talk about it. It's a mentally challenged person who lacks critical thinking skills, thrives on fear mongering like they do, right? And get duped very easily into believing any controversial thing without evidence. And this is exactly what it is. To me, Candace has not brought evidence, right? Nick Fuentes and all this other kind of stuff, you know? So these are their opinions and speculation as far as I'm concerned. You know, this Charlie Kirk thing and all this bullshit. These are things that is designed to take your focus off of building here in America, right? And I'm here about America first. And so is Trump. You know, I'm following somebody that's in power that has the authority to make change with policies. They cannot. They're just selling you a pipe dream. The shit that they own is bullshit. You know? I love watching that interview when Candace Owens got her ass handed to her by Piers Morgan. He tore her ass up. And I say it again. Her, and like I said, with this Nick Fuentes type of stuff, right? So let's get it. So mainstream Republicans and the first, there was an America First Policy Institute, right? And Trump is aligned to a think tank, right? Framed as, patriotism, fringe elements like Nick Fuentes. We're going to get in that a little bit later, right? All right. So here's some of my pushbacks on Nick Fuentes, right? It's like I said before. We talk about the anti-Semitism, right? So he's going to lose a lot of people. Was it Nick Fuentes questioned the Holocaust, implying skepticism over 6 million death tolls, praising figures like Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin in some contexts. So right here, if Trump ran this narrative, do you think he would be successful today? Hell no. Hell no. He wouldn't be. He wouldn't even be president. You know, he wouldn't be president. But this guy, because again, he has no accountability. He just some dude that decided to do on some type of journalism shit. As far as I'm concerned, he ain't no better than nobody else. He's got a bigger following. Command the ear of the young people. And many of you young people, y'all were once Charlie Kirk followers, though, too. I got to call y'all out on that. Like I said before, what makes you a liberal because you lack critical thinking skills, right? This is the first thing. You have to be able to show discernment and ask the right questions. But many of you are caught up with some type of cult following, cult of personality. You know, I don't follow Trump because of a cult. I follow Trump because of the policies that he put into play and the things that he's doing in this country. They are not doing shit. What are they doing? That's the question. We gonna have any other debate. I would like to know, what is Nick Fuentes doing? What is he doing other than causing rifts and division? That's all I see. Call him out on this bullshit, right? This is exactly what it is, right? Look at this stuff. You know, social views. He opposes women's right to vote. For some of you guys, I want y'all women to know this. You do realize that he opposes you ladies the right to vote, right? He stands against this. He promotes misogynistic ideas and anti-LGBTQ. These are facts. So he's alienated. So who do you have left? You alienated women, right? Because you ain't gonna have a bunch of women gonna follow this guy just off the rip. See how we gonna break this shit down right now? I got time, right? So you alienated yourself, pushed away from Trump agenda, which is MAGA, the real Make America Great Again, not this phony stuff that Nick Fuentes is pushing and Candace Owens, right? I call them out on their bullshit. Fuck them, right? They're the ones that got y'all minds twisted and following over a leaderless leader. What can they do? Not a damn thing. You just hit some type of hate group bitching and complaining about yourself, but sending a whole bunch of videos and clips. That's all they do in this conspiracy world where somebody can't even help them in regard to it. You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, as far as with the women, I want y'all to be clear on this, right? Promote misogynistic ideas. How in the hell are we gonna win people over in the moderate side when they doing this? Right? Talking about Nick Fuentes' group, right? Also anti-LGBTQ plus stuff, right? You know, because these people that live in America, they are voting. This guy is a small island, alienated. What you gonna have, a bunch of angry white men, right? That's all you're gonna have. You done alienated all your other groups, idiot. So that's exactly what it is. What else? You know, there's some things I do stand with him on, but it's not enough to push over for the other people. You got to think about the whole country, not yourself, right? This is exactly what it is. You ain't going to get past the women group. You done pissed off a lot of women. Talking about they can't vote and all this stuff. How in the hell can you push those type of agendas? You got to learn to play ball. The main thing is, if the ladies believe in making America great again, which a lot of them do, that are independent thinkers, they're not allowing some damn leaderless leader calling himself a leader. He ain't no leader. He ain't nothing but a podcaster. Both of them, right? I'm talking about Candace too. Podcasters. Right? So what else is we talking about here? Recent activities. Fuentes, this is in 2025. Fuentes has appeared on high-profile platforms, including friendly interviews with Tucker Carlson. This is what I don't understand. You guys should be investigating this dude. Where the fuck did he come from? That's the first question. Because this is how, just like they brought us Obama, nobody knew this dude. He wasn't from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So where did these people come from? This is a question that you have to ask yourself. How did these people just show up? You know? Nobody, I call people out on their bullshit too. Nobody knew who Obama really was. That's a fact. Before he ran, they didn't know. They didn't know this dude. I didn't know this dude. Nobody knew. He came out of nowhere. Just like this dude here. You know? Look at these people, man. They come out of nowhere, man. This is exactly what it is. And you guys, if you were smart enough and knew how to think for yourself, right? Instead of allowing these people to think for you. So let me see here. What else? So he's been criticized. He criticized Trump as being a scam artist, right? For the not releasing Epstein files, right? Here it is. He's so dumb and stupid. You know, the Dems released the Epstein files because of the amount of pressure. Trump was really trying to save it to later on. Not that he was guilty, but they're trying to put him in that same category. If Trump was guilty, then produce the evidence. That's all I'm asking. If none of you guys can't produce the evidence, shut the fuck up. You can't produce the evidence. I don't want to hear anything about, oh yeah, and it's been redacted. Show it. Show the evidence. Because other than that, it's just speculation and conspiracy. You're going down in that tinfoil hat shit. You better have some evidence, because what you're doing is you've been doing slander. You're slandering a person's, I'm talking about a person's name, right? It's what you're doing. Because you hate Trump so much, and you want him to be a PDF so much, right? So some of you guys on the left is already gone, man. You know, already gone. And y'all just little islands. You are following people that cannot make policy change. That's crazy as hell. You know, what you think? Who you think is going to do it? Is Candace going to do it? Hell no. Is Nick Fuentes going to do it? Hell no. They're just podcasters. You guys should be ashamed of yourselves, right? He over here meeting Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens podcast, and others like Piers Morgan, right? He has been criticized, well, Trump once again, as a scam artist for not releasing the Epstein files, urging withholdings, and the reasons there was a lot of withholdings as well, because there was a lot of victims on there that needed to be redacted. They had to censor these children. These were minors. You can't open up a whole file and things like that. Now, there could be some talk of what some other things that could have been left out of those files. They already reported that so many pages were stolen. But you have to prove if Trump was on there. Dems, liberals, and all the rest of you so-called free thinkers, right? If the Dems had Trump on there and originally, it would have been already released. Why waste an opportunity? He would have never made the 2016 election. That's fact. But your hatred and want to be so damn right is just making you look foolish. You look like morons and idiots. This is why certain people don't rock with y'all. And then Nick Fuentes going down that same path. I would like to know where he come from, and I'm going to research on that because I smell a rat from both of them, as I stated before. We're talking about critical thinking, like what we're doing right now. Asking the proper questions, not rah-rah, you know what I'm saying? We need to find out where these people come from. This is exactly what it is. All right, so let's go ahead and go down through here, though, you know? He also says, urge withholding votes from Republicans unless they would deliver on extreme promise. Mass deportation. He remains active on X, over 1.2 million followers. And like I said before, man, I lost a lot of respect for just humans, just in general. People in general will let you down. They're so wishy-washy. Because they don't see, oh, the economy, this and that, it ain't happening enough. There ain't been no arrests yet, this and that. So Trump is on the take. He's part of the system. All speculation. You know, and I think that Trump did a fantastic job. We don't know the real reasons because he pardoned Putin. Not Putin, but you know what I'm talking about, Nelson Yahoo. We don't know the reasons behind all that, but I'm still gonna bet on Trump. Trump is right about everything, and not only be that, because when we gonna pull it up to research, he was right. His stuff is right. Y'all can't say the same thing about your boy and your girl. Trump got more wins under his belt than they do. And he can, once again, he can make policy change. They cannot. Following a leaderless leader that can't do nothing for you but to spread a bunch of propaganda to build their views up. 1.2, look at this, 1.2 million followers. I can't even get more than 5, let alone on my program. Because we know that places like YouTube don't like my content. I get shadow banned. They don't. They get pushed up in the algorithms. This is exactly what it is, right? I went over this already. So Rumble, Telegram, after repeated bans from mainstream like YouTube, I take that back. Because I know with Nick, yeah, he got kicked off of YouTube, but he's on Rumble and them. I didn't get kicked off. I got shadow banned. He got kicked off. If I was over here doing anti-rhetoric against Jewish folks and all the rest of them, you don't think I'm going to be on there, you know? But yeah, man, this is bull crap, you know? Yeah, so let's go ahead and finish it, right? So the relationship between Trump and the mainstream Republicans. Fuentes denied with Trump at Mar-a-Lago, you know what I'm saying, along with Kanye West. Of course he's going to deny it. Of course he's going to deny it. The question I said again, he was there, right? He going to sit up here and lie about it, right? You know what I'm saying? Talking about which Trump downplayed his unplanned. He showed up as it was unplanned. Trump didn't know who this guy was. Trump said it. He didn't know who he was. Why would Trump lie about Nick? Who is Nick Fuentes talking about? Oh yeah, he lied. Who the hell are you, dude? You're just a little nerdy white boy that's downstairs in the basement. You know? What do you got going on for yourself? Other than spreading a bunch of misinformation, you, as I said before, in my opinion, this is controlled opposition 101 already. You know, you got blind followers. And when you know you're a blind follower, when you don't ask questions and you just ride with the narratives, that's what make many of y'all blind followers, yo, you know? It's divisive, it's dangerous. Y'all, it's people. I can't even get mad at the people at the top. It's the people at the bottom that following the people at the top. That's where the problem is. It's you guys that follow this dude. That's your problem. It's you. You over here, yeah, I agree with him. He can't do a mother effing thing when it come down to making policy change. You think this dude gonna be able to run for the presidency with this shit on his resume? Hell no. So what's the point? What's the point? Right? So what else? Current stat. Let me see. I think I got the rest of here. Talked about that. Kanye West. Yeah, so of course he's gonna deny that. He says here, Trump has avoided strong combinations, right? Said condemnation, saying that November 2025 that he didn't know much about Fuentes, right? Right? Nobody did. Fuentes couldn't dictate who Tucker Carlson interview. He couldn't dictate, right? Look at this. Fuentes has criticized Trump for not being extreme enough, right? He criticized him on immigration. We see all these ICE and everything. This is why the big, beautiful bill was pushed into place to have more ICE agents out here. You know, I ain't gonna follow no young, still wet around the ears and so forth. You know, the brain ain't developed enough or whatever. You know, shoot. How old is this guy again? Hold on for one moment. Hold on for a minute. Guy is 27 years old. I got a nephew older than him. Are you kidding me? Look at this, man. This is pitiful, man. Are you serious? Guy ain't been on the planet long enough, man. Talk back to me, man. Because we're going to punch holes through his shit right now. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm punching holes through it. Ain't I'm going, I have. Because the real question is, once again, how did Nick Fuentes met up with Kanye West? That's the question. That right there. It started with Kanye. Because I really would, man, if I was able to get in contact, what's the chances of me, some random guy, that's going to meet up with Kanye West? I mean, shit. You figure, how did Nick Fuentes do it? Right? He knows Kanye West. Kanye West brought Nick Fuentes. This is why we got him right now. This is why we have him right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's true. So what else is going on here? So not tough enough on immigration or Israel, and Epstein files. They was over here running these narratives. Yeah, we still taxpayers. We still giving money to Israel and aid and all this other kind of stuff. Give me the proof. Instead of showing me clips of these yahoos on these social media programs, I ain't seen no proof with it. They just over here talking. I went on and pulled it up. There's certain things that are happening, but it's not what he thinks. And many of you, if you were to do the research properly instead of getting caught up in your feelings, right? Talking about and things, this guy is stopping wars. Trump is a peace president, right? These are facts that we're talking about here. As far as I'm concerned, he was never MAGA, right? This is about it feeding his own ego, right? This is what it's about. For clicks and views, right? If it don't bleed, it don't read. Fuentes continuously or continues streaming, selling merchandise, and building his following with his influence, growing in a far-right online space, despite being deplatformed. He faces legal issues, including a pending misdemeanor battery charge from 2004 incident. I didn't even know about this, regarding some type of pepper spray activist, right? His movement remains fringe but voice, with long debates about its impact on the border rights, right? In summary, Nick Fuentes is a polarizing figure who appears to have a niche with young online conservatives with extreme views. But he is widely rejected by mainstream. And I already went over the reasons as to why he is, right? As politics, as promoting hate. This is what he's put in the box. And if all y'all 1.2 million that's following this dude, he can't push policy. He'll never be president. Isn't that something to think about? He 27 years old, far right-wing group. We already had one of those. Those were called the Ku Klux Klan. We still have these groups. You do realize this, right? I'm just saying. What can a person that is an extremist, is what they consider this guy to be? Far right, right? I don't rock in that space. I said it before. I support Trump. I voted for Trump because I feel, not just feel, because of the facts. And his policies work better than any president in our modern day history. I'll put it right there on the board, right? 10 toes down. I'll hold it down with what I just said, because his policies work. He's stopping wars, blowing up these boats in Venezuela and all that. I don't have no problem with that. These people have been labeled as terrorists. All of the fentanyl and other types of drugs have been allowed to come in this country. Obama and them didn't do it. Biden and them didn't do it. But somebody that we finally got some action. We're getting satisfaction now. And that little young punk ain't going to change my viewpoints on Trump. He appeals to a younger audience. And I get it. Right now, it's like the coolest thing being a Republican conservative or whatever, the white guys and all this other kind of stuff, and we denounce the Jews and whatever like that, I mean, I'm just saying, you don't believe in women voting. There's your major base right there. The sky is nothing, man. And y'all falling for the banana in the tailpipe. Let me take a look at it here, see where I am here. So I had to get this out the way and stuff. I thank you guys for showing up and things like that. I'm over here responding right now to is this Ivan Zuzu? Are you African American first or American first? You know, I don't consider myself African first. I consider myself American. And see, this is another problem here with certain ethnic groups. We are all Americans. It ain't no African American. It's an American, right? So this is what we are. We are Americans, not African Americans, right? You gotta get that. This is programming coming from the left again, because the left also, they're about division. Is what it is. So to answer back to your question, I missed it earlier. You're on Twitch, because I don't really get a lot of Twitch subscribers. But Ivan Zuzu, we are. If you in America, then that makes you an American. It ain't no black, ain't no white. We just Americans, right? We are Americans. It's part of that division shit coming from the left. That shit don't work on me, you know. So I appreciate the question. I don't have no problems answering it. But yeah, you won't get me caught up with that type of stuff. We are all Americans, right? I live in America. I don't live in Europe. I don't live in Africa. I never been to Africa. As far as I'm concerned, a lot of my relative ties are here in America, right? No disrespect to Africa, but my grandmother never told me that we were African. If she told me we were African, then I wouldn't have had no problem with it. But no, America, we're already here, indigenous, baby. Meaning from the beginning, we were already here. Yep. So want to give them that history lesson real quick. Other than that, though, and I appreciate you guys coming in on the chat, though. I haven't been able to check out who's over there on Rumble and things. Rumble is 0. Nothing surprisingly new. Let me see here. Who else? I got a couple over here on YouTube, one on Twitch. Back to Ivan Zuzu. There's nothing on Kick either, and nothing on X. Not surprising. But this guy can get a damn platform talking nonsense and a whole bunch of racism and stuff. That's the thing about it. And I'm gonna address something else too. These so-called black leaders, once again, they have did a very, very fucked up ass job, right? They were also part of that division stuff. Here we are in 2025. They're still running around here, want to identify as African American and black and all this other kind of stuff without doing your research. Black is not a race, right? It's the absence of color. And a lot of blacks got duped in on that, though. When the word black come up, that's not identified to no land, no type of nationalism, no type of anything. It's a void of absence, right? That's what black means. You have to start doing the research and identify yourself. Now, I'm not offended when people use that word, but they're using it which is problems. It keeps them away when you use words citizenship and black and stuff like that. It takes you away from your natural birthright to this country. You can't win on those levels like that. That's why civil rights, blacks lost on that, right? Because civil just really means looking for permission. Instead of it being a human rights, you got to claim and know what the language is for real, for real. You can't go around here talking about civil rights. Instead of human rights in the 60s, the 50s on down, these were human right violations, not civil rights. You guys been duped. They sold that bullshit to you guys. A lot of y'all black, so-called black folks, the leaders sold you that. What's that one with James Brown? I'm black and I'm proud. Jesse Jackson. They pushed that agenda purposely to derail you. Our classification in this country have been changed at least like 5 times. That's right there make you think, huh? They weren't going around here calling themselves black over 100 years ago. They sure was not. How do we be considered? We would call Indians or American Indian, if anything, all the way down to being black, and now it's African American, right? That's the thing about it. Yeah, Jesse Jackson, I believe, when he ran in his campaign, 84, I think they started using that term African American, which is separating yourself. No other nation, when you go and look in other countries, they call themselves what their landmass actually are, instead of saying, I'm a black this and I'm a so and so that. We know that, but you got to call yourself what you really are. That's what I'm saying. So, other than that, I think let me see here. Been over a little over an hour. I just wanted to bring that up in things about this Nick Fuentes guy. And yeah, you can do a thumbs down if you want to. It don't matter to me. You know, I don't give a damn about somebody giving. I can see the likes up and likes down. I don't do this for popularity. But you notice they don't come in here with no facts about nothing. Yeah, I'm not. And one of the things we could thank YouTube for that one, right? They not they. And that's the thing about it. I can't wait till the day when these tech companies are being held responsible. They have to be held accountable for the slick, sneaky shit that they've been doing for shadow banning or whatever like that. Because they hate America, they hate freedom of speech, they hate these type of topics and stuff like that. But as long as I'm pushing leftist agenda type of stuff, then I get high in the algorithm. Hopefully, when I get my lawsuit in, because I'm going to be part of that lawsuit and stuff like that. Thank you, YouTube, because when we do get that lawsuit, once Trump and we win in the midterms and clean y'all asses up, I'm going to be on that lawsuit list so that you know. Because I already know. I already have the proof and all the screenshots and stuff. You know, you guys have been shadow banning me. At no fault to my own. You guys have purposely do it because my agendas don't line up with you. So therefore, you have to shadow ban me to keep viewers, because I was rising up, man. I came all my viewers. I damn near have 700 viewers, right? Organically, I didn't pay nobody for this. I was getting maybe 2 or 3 subscribers a day, and this is the type of shit that YouTube does. You know, because they didn't want to have to monetize this shit. Fuck you, YouTube. I don't give a damn. I got a job. Fuck you. I don't give a damn about none of that shit. They do. I don't. I don't. I don't give a damn about this shit. I do it because I'm passionate about it. I want America to win. They don't want America to win. They want America to lose. And y'all keep following these mindless no facts, just speculation and opinions though for a so-called leader, phony fake leader that don't have no policy. They're only doing is enriching themselves. And the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start doing an investigator. I'm gonna start getting some help on the research on this dude for real, man. You know, and on the rest of these guys, I've called many of them out. These are the shields that come on YouTube, and I stay on that, because I'm going somewhere with this. This is my way of documenting what YouTube done to me, right? With the shadow banning, but they could push their agendas up. So this is why you see me harp on this for the past few days. I appreciate the thumbs up too. Thank you so much. This is why I do this, right? Because now it's time stamped with my face in my channel in regards to what YouTube have done to me, right? This is what they have done, right? I didn't draw the first blood. They did. They were the ones that did this to me, shadow banning me. And then only people that know what I'm on is my subscribers and stuff, because I was rising up. I did all of the information. There's no production crew that I have over here. It was me. I was the one that was doing it. I put the time in learning about this stuff. You know, and then they want to go over here and stop and block and shut my channel down, basically, but it ain't gonna work, because my home is on Rumble right now, and I suggest that you guys get on Rumble, because it's gonna be a time I'm gonna pull the plug off of YouTube. Only reason I'm broadcasting on YouTube, because like I said before, because what have happened to me personally and many other people though, and when we get our lawsuit together, and y'all gonna pay up, y'all gonna pay like you weigh, goddammit, you gonna pay like you weigh. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, ain't had no fault of my own that they did this ish to me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so there's gonna be a reckoning coming with their ass and with these liberal ass tech companies that ain't shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? It ain't shit anyway. You know, and I think I did damn good coming out the damn gate. If I would have been around COVID, I probably would have had numbers even higher. But yet still, they have more shadow banning. They did that in COVID, big time. It's a good time that I probably came in now than back then, because I wouldn't even probably reach 500. I'm over here at 693. I had 94. Somebody unsubscribed. Fuck you, because you ain't a follower of mine anyway. And anyone else, it don't matter to me. But I'm just saying, I came up. I was the one over here doing all this type of stuff to make sure that people learn the truth. I'm on some personal agenda and shit. I'm not even monetized. People think I'm monetized, man. You know what I'm saying? My Cash App comes up. It's on my page. I ain't asked nobody one damn time. If you want to donate, you can. But other than that, you got all these other so-called liberal influencers and all the rest of them on here, and they can get all type of fucking support and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say this shit, something in the chocolate milk is not chocolate, goddammit. This is bullshit. Straight up like that. And I'm mad as hell about it. And like I said before, fuck you too, YouTube. You think I give a goddamn? I'm on Rumble. I'm only doing this to get my subscribers over there. Therefore, I'm out from reach and without constraints. And I gotta watch this. If I say death, that's it. Kill, I'm gonna say that too. Death and kill, damn it. Oh yeah, we gotta watch this and that. There's freedom of speech. First Amendment right. As long as I'm not threatening nobody. There's other people out here doing the killing and mass murder. It ain't me. We just report the news. I'm more of a real journalist, right? Because I have looked it up and I have read when it comes down to integrity, right? Being some type of, I got a lot, maybe my friend, I'm not doing this stuff to have some type of ego trip. A lot of them don't even know when I go live, man. They know I do my channel thing, man. I very rarely get my friends on here, and that's okay. Because this ain't for that. This is about other people. I can talk to them anytime. Some of them see me enough as it is. Why they gonna go there? They ain't gonna hang out here for an hour. But some of you guys that hang out here for an hour talking to me, man, I'm over here been putting down some real good stuff. That No Kings thing, 20K viewers off that No King stuff. Man, and I was smoking they behind too, boy. I was smoking on that live on there. Because everything I was saying was the truth. I went in on the left, in the failed left policies or whatever. And then what I'm going to do next, I'm going to take a drive into Detroit in the inner city ghetto neighborhoods. I'm going to let everybody see and know how the liberal Democrat failed leaning left policies and how we have crime, violence, drugs, dilapidated neighborhoods, pimps, or I should say whores and whatever that's out there on the street. This is from our failed policies. Bunch of taxes. They're always talking about tax this, tax that, city tax, state tax, in the state of Michigan alone, right? What do they do with our money? They enrich themselves with it. It's already been out, right? And then we got the governor, you know what I'm saying, Ratchet Hitler. You know what I'm saying? Shit, what the hell is she gonna do? They're all on the part of the, they're all in the operation, That's what's really going on. Minnesota, it ain't stopping there. Look at Ohio. You got a lot of those Haitians over there, right? You got a lot of those Somalis over there. You know what I'm saying? Over in that city, where's that, Columbus? They corrupt as fuck. And I'm glad that this stuff is happening now. And you blacks that want to side on that, you want to overstep your own interests, talking about some damn party, talking about some other damn interests. Ain't no goddamn Somali. I don't have Somali friends. They don't rock with us. Africans don't fuck with so-called black folks here in America. It's a fact. So fuck them too. I ain't coming to crying to your situation. You shouldn't have been doing the shit in the first place. I'm talking about for the ones that were out there doing that shit. And they knew the ones that was doing it. But what they do is they cover for each other. That's exactly what it is. Shit. Marco, what's going on, Marco? Let me give you a little, hold on for a minute, Marco. I got to give a, how I do. There you go, Marco. There you go. Yeah. Marco in the house. I got to get that one thing. Go, Tony, equals ringing in. Right? The new year with gusto, right? Good for you, sir. Happy New Year's Eve. I appreciate it, Marco, man. Thank you so much, man. It's like guys like you guys that really rock with me, man. I mean, and things. So I said I wanted to get it in before the New Year's, though, you know? So, yeah. How do I sound, man? I should be sounding like $1,000,000. I had to do some tweaking on my audio. So I have that announcer, that real radio sound now, man. I've been working on it. I had to go into my settings on my mixer and to, play with even though I always have a great voice, I get that a lot. But yeah, she'll be coming in like fire, though, you know? How do I sound, though, Marco? Do I sound good? Do I sound great? Do I sound good and great? Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, man. So yeah, but that's basically what it is, though, man. I went in there, played with the settings last night, got my camera settings right. I'm still having problems with my webcam. More than likely, man, I probably won't. I'm gonna end up upgrading that as well, though. Too, I already know what I'm gonna get for my second B-roll camera, and I'm having a little problems with my iPhone too on the switcher because it's not working. Because I wanted to show you guys. Marco says, is that the time again? 100% on point. Good sound. I appreciate it, Marco, man. I really do. Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm just over here. Oh, let me put my camera back. Yeah, I'm having problems with my iPhone and things like that. But not to worry though, man. It's all good though, man. It's all good. But yeah, man, just preaching the facts, man, and things. Put some clarity because thing about it, Marco, is that you have people, right? And I appreciate that thumbs up. No surprise. I get thumbs down all the time, though. The suppression of my videos, my live streams, and so forth. Mainly my live streams, though. But besides that, man, just kicking the doors in and kicking these people's behinds, if you know what I mean, though. They over here following a leaderless leader that have no damn power when it come down to policies and things like that. It's the craziest thing ever, man. The only thing they're gonna follow is I don't know where it's gonna be, but it sure ain't to promise. We on the right side of history right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be pushing stuff like this all the way up to the midterms because we are going to win it. Ain't no if. We're going to take the House. We're going to take the Senate. You know what I'm saying? Because with all this corruption that's being exposed, and we're going to make sure that the Democrats don't cheat and those voter rolls are going to be cleaned up. And we're going to go, if we have to go into California to get them cleaned up, we're going to do it. We're going to go into Illinois. We're going to clean them up. We're going to go into Arizona and Colorado and all the rest of these places. We're going to clean up those voter rolls. We're going to make it very impossible for the left to cheat. So I'm here to say it right now. I'm going to claim and call the victory early. This is my prediction. Because the Dems have enough to worry. They got a lot of stuff to worry about right now. They trying to play, they having troubles trying to play damage control on this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? They over here protecting Letitia James and James Comey. We get two corrupted fuck ass judges, right? And then you got people on the far right talking this ish and bullshit though, Marco. This is some bullshit right here. They act as if Trump and Cash Patel and all them ain't doing the damn thing, though. He over here to stop the terrorist group here in Michigan, Dearborn Heights. If that would have been under Biden and Obama, they would have let that terrorist and let it go. Many people lives would have been killed and destroyed forever, So I think he did a wonderful job getting the FBI together, the CIA, and the DOJ, and Homeland Security. Think he did an excellent job. I heard that they're going to be moving the FBI base too. They need to. Yep. Go ahead and tear that stuff on down. Get all these bad apples out. Because people don't realize, man, it ain't that simple. These people are coming out the woodwork now, right? From the judges, these corrupted fuck AGs, right? And then you still got some corruption there with some of these people still in the FBI that study being flushed out. kicked out, CIA flushed out, kicked out, DOJ flushed out, kicked out, right? You got to get these people out of here. The seditious six, they got to be held accountable too, right? These are the people that hate Trump and hate America because they work on the side of the criminals, right? This is an operation, flat out. This is why Americans can't get no get back. You are in debt. We all are in debt like major before, like never before is what I'm trying to say. Never before. Because they've been ripping off the taxes we paid for. This is why our roads, our bridges ain't worth a damn. You go over to China, Japan, Singapore, Indonesia, Korea. They all have great infrastructures over there. China over there in Chongqing, China, they call it the Mountain City. Go and pull it up. They got roads going up to the mountains and through the mountains, for real, through buildings and everything, man. They got systems over there for real. What do we have? Old primitive, old potholes and stuff falling apart, right? Our educational system is way down. They've been purposely trying to bankrupt America. And these old people want to talk about Israel stuff and all the rest of this stuff when we got criminals going on over here in America. Talk to me, damn it. That's the thing about it, man. Over here, once again, following a leaderless leader, they can't make policy and change. Fuck them, and the people that follow them, fuck you too, that follow them. That's what I say. And I call you out on it. Y'all got y'all heads so far up in they fucking asses, you can't see daytime. You don't even know what time it is. That's how far y'all got y'all head up in their asses. Asshole. Instead of using critical thinking. When I'm asking the questions, and I'm going to ask again, how do you know? Don't get mad at me because you can't answer it. That's your inadequacy of not having the information, because if you had it, you wouldn't be angry. Name calling. That's all you have. Anybody been afraid of no names? Name calling. You ain't got nothing far as I'm concerned. Get the hell out of here with this bull crap stuff, right? We dealing with facts over here, right? Documentations and stuff like that. I want to hear no speculative stuff, because if it comes through here, I'm going to ask a simple question. How do you know? And you better be prepared to show the facts of where this stuff is coming from. We got to get down to the bottom of it, man. Get to the truth. That's what it is, though, Gonna follow this old 27-year-old little wet behind the ears ass prick, and things like that. Trump is the greatest president. He's greater than what you will ever be, Nick Fuentes. You just over here clout chasing like the rest. You don't stand on no facts on nothing. Whole bunch of trying to come up, just like the rest of them, just a clout chaser. You ain't did nothing great. You guys offer young children that resonate with you. Shit, Charlie did it way better than you. Charlie Kirk, he did it way better than you. And I want TC USA to get it together over there, man. Y'all need to get it together over there, though, and get back to what's important and what's right. In my opinion, I said it earlier, I think personally that Erica Kirk should step down and let somebody that should be there, who runs that in that thing, that really that's really about that life for real. I'm just saying, she needs to step down. That's exactly how I feel about it, because she's not a debater. She should have been handcuffed Candace Owens, but that's not her, though, and I get it. But you got to put somebody in, though, Erica. Put somebody in. You need to step down. No disrespect. Marco says, remember, the mob protects their own. It's true. They are not crazy. It's a NWO, Neo plan to downsize the world. Why? Because the Great Reset faced orange frowning. Yep. Yeah, and I hear what you're saying, though, Marco, about this, the New World Order and all this other type of stuff. Yeah, we know this was the agenda way back with Bush Sr., right? He always talked about the New World Order, the New World Order. When we in that New World Order been, to have a one world government system, right? where everybody's rights. They don't want a party. You know what I'm saying? They don't want a party at all. This is, and their what their agenda is, it's about getting rid of the parties and ushering in what's it called? Communist, socialist communist type stuff. That's what it really is, right? Let's see here. Joe Biden, LGTV. Why Trump simps at the dictators? You know, I see one thing about it though. You know, like I said before, when you guys come in here and asking these type of questions, right? It's not for understanding. Well, I'm gonna ask me turn it back on you, Joe. Why do you think that Trump sent for the dictators? How about that? I'm gonna throw it back on you. Why do you think? Why do you think that they that you because I don't think that Trump sent for the dictators, but tell me why you think he simps for the dictators. How about that? I don't think he does at all. I don't think he does. You have to tell me and show me how. Because right now, you're doing what Candace and Nick Fuentes is doing. I asked them the same thing. Give me the reason as to why. Because what? He stands strong on Israel stuff? Where he haven't gotten the Abraham Accords. He got a lot of people in the Middle East to peace deals where we have endless wars going on for 20 some odd years. And you want to say that he's simping? I want to know. I really want to know, man. Don't just come in here and ask a question to me because I'm going to throw it back at you. I'm going to throw it back at you. Oh, tell me something what you know. That's the thing about it, you know. Tell me something that you know. I don't really get a lot of people on Twitch though, too, but I see it come up. Let me see here. Let me go and pull some of this stuff up here. Hold on for a minute. Put that over there. This is what Marco has to say. Marco said something else too. All right. I'm gonna put your comments up here, Marco, and things, especially this one here, because I want people in the audience to be able to see. You know, there we go, right here. Yeah, put your comments up, and I can pin them up though too. All right. This is what Joe Biden say. You know. And I know where he was going with this type of stuff, though. You know, LGTV. Yeah. So, so other than that, though, so if he's not going to give me the reason why, they never do. They just come in here, ask a question, or make a statement, not for understanding, just to catch I got you moment. No proof at all. Just said he already comes out and says why Trump simps. He, in his mind, thinks that Trump simps for dictators. Isn't this funny? Well, I can tell you this, but what I know is that Trump and Russia have an equal footing for what it is that they're doing here. Just like with China and other countries around the world, with its leaders coming to the table, right? And hashing out their differences. Cause we ain't gaining with no damn war. You gonna try to have a nuclear war with these countries? Nobody wins. If you really want to know my opinion for real, nobody wins. Who wins? And then all they do is just taking taxpayer dollars to enrich themselves with all these missiles and all the rest of this stuff that's going on, man. Please. Let me see here. Well, I got me another person here. All right. Hey guys, we should all plant a few fruit and nut trees to make sure we never starve. Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. That should be always the case anyway. You guys should follow BJ's advice. I'm gonna call you BJ. Yeah, BJ Thomas 825 says, "Guy, what do you think about America eventually dropping parties and the people voting for the best candidate regardless of the party?" The problem is simply this. I understand your frustration about not having a party at all, but I mean, so how we gonna have, what we gonna do? Well, we don't have no party. How we gonna get the people in the leadership? How we gonna get the person to be so called the leader? Right? How does that happen? You have a president right now that is waging war against the deep state right now. How does not having a party at all benefit us when you got a man right now that can push policy? The guys that y'all talking about, they don't have no policy. They got to get in the White House first. The stuff that you're talking about is unconstitutional. It's written in the Constitution. It's already there. Leaderless party would not happen. As long as the Constitution is there, the three levels of government, the systems are put in place. Because if you're going to have a leaderless thing and so forth, you're talking about going against the Constitution. Stop following these people, man. Just a fact. You can't run this type of stuff and expect to win. Let me see here. BJ says, right, I think I read that already. All right, let me see here. Hold on for a minute. I'm gonna let that. I'm gonna put your other comment up here. Hold on for a minute. That's what Trump is doing, ending wars. He's a peace president. Yeah, BJ says, agree. Let's all pray for no more war. Yeah, we don't need no war. Nobody wins. And it's a scam anyway, because they did that with the Iraqi war. They did that with Afghanistan, right? Whole 9/11, all that looking more like an inside job, Americans, a lot of lives that was destroyed, and who benefited? These military industrial complexes. You got a president right now, for the first time, is working against the establishment, which is the deep state. Everybody know who the deep state. It ain't even a conspiracy about them no more. We seeing all the pushback that Trump getting already, let alone, you know what I'm saying? So let me see here. BJ says, I'm just saying, with two parties, it splits people in two. Perhaps should at least be more parties. We can have more. It don't have to be two, but we still got to have party at least, right? It's just so right now, and like I said, and I went over this before, but the rhinos, which means Republican in name only, they are your liberals. In fact, I'm gonna just put this out here, BJ. We had a one system party for a very long time. Don't think that the Republicans was against when they were just Republicans. Don't think that they were just for Republicans. They weren't. They were along, their agendas was right along with the Democrats. It was the same system. It was a uniparty. My banks called that out. So we have always have been under this one-tier party system, posing and pretending that it was two. First time we have a president that's not bought by opposition. Because the moves that he's making and the policies that Trump has been doing, you don't get an assassination attempt. They only come after people that go against the reservation. We already know. Look at JFK Sr., what ended up happening to him. And his brother, Bobby, right? And others. Look at Charlie Kirk. When people go against Abraham Lincoln, we could go as far back, right? So talking about, well, yeah, he on the tape. Why take him out? If he didn't agree and align up with his agendas. Trump's agendas don't line up with the deep state agendas at all. They've been fighting him on every level, from the lower courts. You ain't never seen no history, Circuit 9, Circuit Court, Pelham Court, so forth, overreaching their boundaries, coming from down to top up, telling the sitting president what he can and can't do. That is unconstitutional as fuck. He is the executive branch, right? Commander-in-chief, the president of the United States, the highest court in the land, with the three branches of government to back him up, right? Come on now. But let me see here. Let me see what BJ says here. BJ says, with the two-party system, one wonders if it's corrupt, and these should be more choices. The reason why it's looking corrupt on both sides, and I know where you're going with this, BJ, as I mentioned before, we have a lot of rhinos in the Senate alone, right? We don't have control. We don't have MAGA people, real patriots. We got people that been in there from eons, right? Chuck Grassley and all the rest of them, right? You can name them on both sides, Republican and Democrat, right? That have enriched themselves years, no term limits. They just been in their positions for a long ass time. Bernie been in there a long ass time, right? Look at these people, right? Mitch McConnell been in there for a long ass time. There's many others. And I'm talking about people on the right now and people on the left, right? This is what I'm saying. This is your uniparty. Both of these parties was worthless when it come down to the American people. We have a chance with Trump. That's why I rock the cap. This because I want to see America become great again, right? Because he's in a position for policy change. He is the commander-in-chief, and he's been doing things about these immigration, deportation, locking down our borders, right? Exposing the corruption with Doge. Now they have got rid of the external Doge and integrated in the government. So now we have accountability, transparency again. There's a lot of things that's going to be coming into play in 2026. But I get it that people are impatient. They want to see stuff now. They want to see arrests now. How can we have arrests right now that Epstein, there's a lot of things right now. You know why? Because they, like you even said, when you with the mob is going to protect their people. We know that whole Epstein thing were Democrats. That's a fact. But they are protecting each other, covering for each other. And even if you were trying to arrest him, it's going to do just like James Comey and Big Teach James. All they're going to do is acquit it. You got judges that won't do their job because they all been bought. Could be honeypot traps. Anything to compromise or, and that's really what we're looking at here. This is why we in the situation. We have to clean the house. Let me see here. I got somebody from Twitch. All right, this is the comical response. Best view. Oh yeah, okay. That's an advertisement. Okay, hold on for a minute. I should have read that first. It's all good. Yeah, sometimes people gotta advertise too, man, you know? All right. BJ says, make California great again. I admit it. I live in California. Hey, man, I understand. California is a beautiful country. I mean, a beautiful state. Should be a country. It is, actually. But yeah, not really. But yeah, it's a beautiful state, man, California. I've been there only once, but when I was there back in 2000, it was way better than what it is. I can imagine what it's like now. I done heard so many people talk about California now and everything. So, but yeah, man, you in California is what we call it. California, man, the Palestine fires and all this other stuff. I always wondered, why do they always have burnings over there? Fire burnings. We coming to find out that they've been doing this stuff for the money, the funding. Trump cut them off from that. There's a lot of businesses that corporations ran out of California. And then they're taxing you guys, man. You guys are paying a heavy burden to live in California, right? Then you don't have they don't respect the Second Amendment right at all, right? This is another big issue, man, in California. Y'all have very, very strict laws in California, though, you know. It's one of the worst states to live in if you're a gun holder. Because even if you have the gun, if you use it in California, chances are you can be arrested and thrown in prison. Because we already know in California, the lawlessness favors criminals in that state. That's a fact. And then you got a criminal at the top, right, that's running California. Is he doing a great job? Absolutely not. He's doing a horrible, terrible ass job. And it ain't just me saying. There's a lot of Californians, ones that left. Even Elon Musk had to wrap up shop. They're going to be paying a lot in taxes. You can't get ahead like that. Huh. I appreciate the likes. Thank you so much. And for most of y'all that came in, man, I'm really impressed, today, get a little bit of comments and stuff and things like that. I try to post them up here therefore people that are watching it, they can actually see the comments and stuff like that as well. Since I switched over to this new format, yeah, it's been working out pretty darn good though, you know. And I'm going to be on TikTok pretty soon because we know that TikTok loves the vertical. But not to worry about that. I'm going to have that taken care of. And then I'm going to be putting up a telephone number here as well. So Marco and BJ, you guys, or anybody else, man, you can call in on the program, man, and I answer the phone and we have a great time, answering the questions. I don't have no problems answering questions, man, if it's genuine, because you could pretty much have an actual real question. But to sit up here to say that why is Trump simping for Israel and things like that, it just makes no sense to me, man. The stuff that's going on in Israel right now doesn't impact average Americans. They want to say it does because they want to say that our taxpayers are still going over there to these programs and stuff that are going on over there. So, and then we're going to talk about that one day. I'm going to have to go ahead and expose that for real, for real. We're going to have to go ahead and put that to the test in regards to that. So, but other than that, though, yeah, I appreciate you guys coming through for me and things, So, yeah, that's a beautiful thing, man. I done already talked about this guy, Nick Fuentes, man, and I don't see no benefit to what this guy is saying. He have alienated these young men, following a leaderless leader that can't push policy. Enough said. You guys are following this guy, you got to know how to do some critical thinking for yourself. Don't let Nick think for you. Don't let Candace think for you. You have to go deeper. You have to go deeper. Because both of them, I love it when she always said, I'm not in it for the money. I'm not in it for the money. She got over 3 million viewers. Nick got half of what she has. It's mighty funny. Something it's smelling real. It's smelling like boo-boo. Every time they talk, it's smelling like boo-boo. Right? So yeah, man, I appreciate it though, man, because you already seen what happened to me, man. I would have had more viewers. That when you get the alerts, some of you guys that follow me, you get the alert saying that, okay, I done went live. It comes up on Twitch. It comes up on Kick. It comes up on Rumble, right? Comes up on X. And I very rarely have X viewers on X at all. I've been posting. I'm being honest, but it still shows up on X as being a live stream, right? And I get it. I'm working on that over there on X. I'm really working on that. But for YouTube, as I stated before, I don't come up. But those other influencers, I did that other video, live stream on that yesterday, they come up. They're not being shadow banned. They can go over here and tell lies and stuff like that, and they're not being shadow. It seems to me that somebody should be pumping the brakes on people when you're not telling the truth. BJ says, I make YouTube videos also. make sure to add tags with the first minute of your postings. Yeah, and I appreciate that though, BJ. I got tags in Rumble. I got tags in YouTube and things like that. I mean, I got the tags in there, but I'm telling you, before I used to come up, now I don't. You know what I'm saying? So something isn't right. That's the thing about it. But it's all good though. I come up on Rumble and I get a lot of viewers. They may not watch my live, but they'll watch it as was it 64 views. And I used to have way more than that, but it's all good. I need to go. I'll share your videos. Take care. You too, BJ, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. And things though, man. If you don't mind subbing for me, if you sub already, I'm not for sure. I never seen your name come across before. So, and I'm curious how you found me, man. Did I come up or are you following me already? That's a question I have to ask for you. But yeah, I'm just kind of curious. Yeah. But I need to go too, guys, ladies and gentlemen. You guys take care and things. Been trying to knock it out of the park under the circumstances and the things I got to deal with, but it's all good. This is part of growing. That's all. And I'm in it for the long haul though too, because I know with Trump and the Patriots like myself, we're gonna be victorious. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be victorious, getting this country back though. You know what I'm saying? And understanding what freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and what that really means and what that really is. You know, let nobody infringe on our rights and trample on our rights and things like that when it comes down to the Constitution. But I thank you guys so much. There we go. I thank you guys so much. You guys, there we go. You guys take care. And I'll see you on my next live stream and things. So yeah, I really, really appreciate it. I think that is mainly it though, you know. So please share the video. Please comment. Please, likes is always welcome. Whether you agree or disagree, it's all good. Both are welcome. You guys take care. Peace out. And I'll see y'all on the next live stream. Peace and chicken grease. I'm out.